Having self-awareness kind of prevents us from saying off-putting or weird things to other people. And it also helps us grow into someone that's more confident and mature as a person. Let's look at how to develop this. Number one is making sure that you're actually learning the right lessons from your experiences. Look at this clip of Steve trying to find the right look for himself.
I thought that was a good look for me. I truly did.
Right.
You have to look for the look.
Yes. Thank you.
I had.
When you're in this situation, it's easy to think maybe I'm just ugly or I'm inferior as a person. But notice how Steve didn't shame himself like that, but rather he kept looking for the right look. And this is one of the keys to self-awareness, that there's always more than one lesson that comes out of any experience. Because most of the time, it's very easy to take an experience, give it one meaning, and just stick with it. When you do this, this is a pretty big problem because you're narrowing your mind and you're giving yourself tunnel vision and giving yourself a lot of blind spots. So for every experience, try to explore both the good and bad lessons that comes out of it. Because this way, it prevents you from hearing the things that only you want to hear. If you're trying to become a better person that wants a better society, hit that subscribe button. Next is understanding that limits are actually really freeing. I always have trouble saying that word. To be self-aware, you first have to know your limits and how to use your limits for your advantage. Listen to how he talks about what having limits forces you to do.
If you can only use this, it forces you to use all of this thing that you can. You can feel free to go crazy with it and try.
A self-aware person doesn't try to fight his or her limits, but rather they try to use them to remove all the distractions and to focus on mastering a few things really well. Limits are really freeing because it shows you the things that are not within your control and then you shouldn't give your time or attention to. This way, you can actually do things you want to do. This next one is understanding that everyone has an intention. I am not telling you to go out there and be super suspicious of everyone that's around you. But it's good to know that everyone does everything for a reason. And if you ignore that reason, you'll offend someone. Here Steve is talking about acting, but I also think that this applies to life.
Your job is to make everybody else good. And if they're doing the same thing, everybody's set.
An example here of someone that really pays attention to everyone's intentions is someone that's considerate. You're not only aware of yourself, but also potentially how your actions can affect the people that are around you. This last one is accepting the fact that you might not always be entirely right. Listen to how Steve has this little hesitation when he's trying to make a claim.
You go to see it and you're hopeful.
Yeah.
And this one turned out really well. It's actually quite funny. So
I've seen it. I enjoyed it too.
I'm being honest. My wife and I went to.
Being self-aware means accepting the fact that nobody is right about everything. So having this kind of humility shows that you have emotional intelligence. And this is also the same reason why bragging is so unattractive. In summary, listen more, talk less. If you have other thoughts about self-awareness or just different advice, I'd love to hear it down in the comments. And I'll see you in my next video.